toxic and narcissistic relationships find their way out. I help them figure out how to get that inner peace realistically, honestly, sincerely, in their body and in their nervous system, so that they can be courageous, so that they can stand for themselves, so that they can make good decisions. They can take the good steps that they need to take to move forward in their life, including working through toxic relationships. So toxic relationships are one of the more difficult situations to be in, because it's a relationship typically where two people have a lot of emotional wounds and they don't have very good skills at managing how they feel. They were taught a wide number of coping skills, maybe anger, denial, disassociation, that was my favorite. People pleasing, that was my second favorite. Rigid thinking, all of those ways that you and someone else in a relationship deals with their emotions are the ways that create toxic relationships. If you want to start moving out of toxic relationships and have relationships, even if other people are dysfunctional, even if they're disordered, even if they're a narcissist, if you want to start having a healthier relationship with them, then it's important to start working on 3 main steps. Now, step number 1 is you need new information. Now, you might have been studying this stuff all your life. Maybe you love essential oils or crystals, or you're really connected to nature or animals or energy healing. And so you probably already have a lot of knowledge in your head. What you don't know yet is how to take that knowledge and actually use it. Because how many people have been in a workshop or been in a weekend thing or a class and said, yeah, that's really, really great information. I should do that. Or someone gives you really good advice and you say, wow, that would be really nice if I had enough money, or if I had enough time, or if I had enough resources. And we always come up with reasons why we can't take that really healthy information that we're absorbing, that we have in our head, and actually use it. So step number 1 is recognize you've got a lot of information and maybe start gathering some new pieces, like the pieces of how to use it. Because that's kind of what I found is missing for all the women that I work with. What's missing isn't that they aren't smart enough, isn't that they haven't been studying this their entire lives. It's that they don't know the best way to use the tools that they have. And this is where step number 2 comes in. Step number 2 is around all of your great information, all the things that make you stop in your tracks and say, oh, I can't do that. Those are emotional blocks. Emotional blocks are really pretty easy. They're basically bookmarks that your body has put in your brain that says, hey, you need to go back and look at this because you were too young to figure it out, or it was a dangerous situation, or it was too scary, and you didn't go and get help to look at this. You didn't get help to process through. And so part of your body still feels trapped in that trauma, still feels trapped in the emotions. So every time you go to the refrigerator instead of working on your dreams, it's an emotional block. That's what they mean by self-sabotaging beliefs and emotional blocks. That's what they're talking about. It's actually stress chemicals in your brain. And these stress chemicals and these triggers keep you from moving forward. That's why you feel stuck. So you actually have to take time to talk to your body and to talk to your nervous system and communicate with it and tell it that it's safe and that you want to hear what it has to say. And it's not done only through talking. Most therapy, why it takes decades and decades for therapy to work, is because they use kind of the slow boat to China. They use listening to your story, having you calm down and regulate by talking about your story. But sometimes that can take years or decades because, you just keep going round and round and round the same issues all the time. A faster way, a way faster way, a quantum faster way is to work through the body and work with the nervous system. So when you take time to consciously, consistently calm yourself down, calm your nervous system down, every time you feel angry, hurt, afraid, you're already doing it. It's what you're trying to do when you people please. It's what you're trying to do when you put your blinders on. It's what you're trying to do when you disassociate. You are trying to regulate your nervous system. You are trying to calm down. And all of those ways sometimes work and sometimes don't, right? It's a total crapshoot. You have no idea whether this time disassociating will protect you or it won't. Now, it worked really well as a kid, but it doesn't work as well when you're an adult because there's so many more balls in the air, so many things you need to pay attention to, that the same coping skills that you used to survive difficult situations are the ones that you don't need now. The ones that you need are the ones about calming yourself, not calming the other person, but calming yourself, doing nourishing things for yourself. Now, some women will say, "Well, I just took a walk for an hour and a half, and it didn't do anything. I still feel terrible." That's because most of us wait to do healing and compassion and emotional work when we're way down in a hole, when we are so far in the dark, when there's so much that's been backed up. We wait until we're suffering and starving and maybe we have something to prove to ourselves. I know I always did. I had to prove that I was tough. I had to prove that I could handle it. Had to prove that I could do it by myself. And the reality is we have to turn that love on ourselves, whether it's a walk in the woods, whether it's walking your dog, whether it's eating a vegetable, whether it's calming your nervous system, taking a bath, lighting a candle, meditating, whatever you do, EFT, tapping, energy healing, Reiki, whatever you do, you need to be doing it a lot because your backlog of emotional triggers goes back a long time. So you need to be doing these self-care things every time you have a negative thought or a negative belief or a negative emotion like anger. It's what I do when I get angry. The first thing I do is pause and do something that makes me feel good. Frustration, same thing. Pause, do something that makes you feel good. So that's step number 2. Step number 2 is to start working on and unpacking the layers of emotions that your body is still holding on to. So step number 3 is just as important as the first 2, new information and then doing the emotional clearing around it. The third step is get people to support you, whether you have to pay them or not. You know, it took me a long time to realize some of the best people to work with are the ones I paid because they're the ones in the profession. They're the ones who've been doing it for decades. They're the ones who have seen this a million times. They're the ones who have mapped it, who understand how it works and what to do next. When you get a group of people to support you on your path, on your journey, you're going to be way more successful. So if you think you have to do it alone, that's probably going to be one of your downfalls. You're not supposed to do this alone. Emotional healing and growth and change and moving forward is about realizing that you have to have a group of people around you who love you, who are interested in your well-being, who are looking out for you in some way. You know, those things that you craved in your romantic partner, it doesn't mean that you aren't supposed to have them. It just means that you need to find them for yourself. You need to find the women, you need to find the people, the therapists and the energy healers and the chiropractors and the whatevers that help you keep moving forward. Help you keep believing in yourself. Keep knowing that you can do this and other people have gone before you. So 3 steps, really. Get new information, of which you probably already have plenty. Step 2, get rid of the emotional blocks. It's super easy to do. We've talked about them a lot on these live streams. And the third one is to get support, whether it's 1 or whether it's 10. But having a larger group of people supporting you is way better than having a smaller group, as long as they're healthy people, as long as they're the people that have the thing that you want, that have the peace, that have achieved some level of peace or understanding that they want, that you want. And if you do that, you will find within months, if not weeks, you're making important, radical changes in your life that are turning out okay because you've learned how to make peace with all that inner conflict. And you've seen the way past the blocks, past the beliefs that keep you trapped, and you totally see the very clear next step. And actually, you start taking action, you start doing things, not because you're doing things, but because it's a natural side effect of how you think and how you feel. When you change how you think and how you feel, especially on a body level with your nervous system, you change how you live your life. And suddenly, you're not a codependent anymore. And suddenly, you're not being victimized by a narcissist anymore. And suddenly, all sorts of opportunities and things come up because people can see that you have your shit together, that you've got things going on, and that you're okay. So 3 things. Remember, new information, emotional blocks, and then get support. And if you do that, way sooner rather than later, you'll be healed. So we're going to be doing a challenge November 30th to December 6th. It's a self-care challenge to create a peaceful home. I've got at least 20 plus world-class speakers who are coming to give you that new information that you're looking for. Little 20-minute or 45-minute snippets around health, wealth, home, family, intuition, relationships, around a wide variety of topics, and around the body, mind, emotions, environment, relationships, and ideas. So every day you'll get a Vegas buffet of new information. And then every night we're going to do the emotional clearing around it. So you actually take that cool information, you integrate it into your body, into your mind, and you take really clear action. And then we'll support you as a group, as a team, as a challenge for 7 days. We're all in this together to do self-care for 7 days to create a peaceful home inside yourself and outside yourself. So keep an eye open for it. We'll start marketing it soon. It's a free challenge. And I invite you to create a peaceful home for the holidays. You don't have to have the same ones you've had every year. It actually does get better. When you get better, when you work on becoming aligned and integrated and whole, your life changes around you. And if you don't think it's possible for you, you're probably wrong, because it doesn't have to do with what you think. It has to do with working with your body. And that's the really cool thing. Okay, so I love you. Have a great day. If you're more interested in what I do, ritahickmancoaching.com. And if you get live stream alerts, then you'll get these in your newsfeed. You'll get little boosts of beta endorphins every morning, Monday through Friday. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks.